Greetings. This is the one you've known as Jesus the Christ. I'd like to lead you in a guided meditation that will help you know yourself as peace. Get very comfortable, relax, and set all thoughts aside for the time being. They have nothing to offer you now. You don't need them for these few minutes while we rest and just be. Resting and being is a very important activity, one that everyone needs to take time for each day. Just as eating and sleeping are essential to your health and well-being, so is resting and just being. Taking time for this is natural, basic. Animals do this naturally, and if you didn't have a voice in your head that pushed you to act constantly, you would also naturally do that. Take a moment now to experience what it's like to just rest and just be. As you continue to rest and just be and listen to my voice, as a kind of practice in your daily life, I want you to consider doing the opposite of what the voice in your head suggests. If it tells you to hurry up, stop and do something else or just rest. If it wants you to think about the past, get busy doing something in the here and now. If it wants you to fantasize about the future, then notice what you're grateful for now in your life. If it wants something to be more perfect than it is, then let go of the desire for that to be more perfect. Doing the opposite of what the voice in your head says is actually a good guideline for how to live your life if you want to be happy and at peace. And it's one of the ways to break free of the programming. As you continue to rest and relax in whatever position you're in, all you have to do is continue to focus on my words, and you'll relax even further. This will happen just naturally, as long as you don't go off into some thought about what I'm saying or something else. Isn't it interesting that the mind takes you on a roller coaster ride of ups and downs, highs and lows, in its conversations with you, none of which relax you or bring you peace? The voice in your head is uncomfortable with you being still, quiet, and at peace. That's really the last thing it wants, because then it loses its power to determine what you do with your mind and energy. The ego, through the voice in your head, controls your mind through thought. It almost doesn't matter what thoughts the ego puts in front of you, because any thought leads to another and another. Have you noticed? The voice in your head might hook you with a pleasant thought, "I'm feeling really good right now," and that leads to more thoughts. Why is that? What did I do to get there? What can I do to stay there? Why can't I always feel this way? What's wrong with me that I don't feel this way all the time? And now you're feeling bad about yourself. This voice hooks you with a good thought that takes you to a place of feeling bad. This happens all the time, usually without you being aware of it. The ego is like a con artist that way. What's most central about the thoughts in this ongoing mental commentary is I. I will tell you a secret about this I. It's a troublemaker. It isn't who you are. You are not a troublemaker. You are a lover of peace. But when you listen to the voice in your head, You get into trouble and you cause trouble. It works both ways. The voice in your head doesn't just make trouble for others, but also for yourself. It makes you afraid, distrusting, angry, judgmental, unkind, impatient, resentful, sad, and unhappy. Can you think of anything the voice in your head does for you? This is a good question, so let's take a moment to explore this. What do you believe the voice in your head does for you? Do you believe it keeps you safe? Keeps you making a living and supporting yourself? Helps you manifest your dreams? Makes you a better person? Makes you more thoughtful or rational or grounded? Makes you more clever? Helps you fit in with others? What do you believe it does for you? Take a moment to answer that. Whatever answer you came up with is just a belief you hold about the voice in your head, for this voice does none of the things you think it does for you. You just believe it does. The actual results of listening to the voice in your head are upset, discontentment, fear, judgment, conflict, sadness, hatred, everything you don't want to experience and nothing you do want to experience. What you do want to experience, such as peace, joy, love, and happiness, is only possible when you do the opposite of what the voice in your head suggests. It tells you to hurry and it pushes you, and all this accomplishes is stress and unhappiness, and also mistakes and accidents. You want peace, but you get stress and more problems. Why do you listen to it? Do you think you won't get out of bed and do what you need to do if you don't listen to this voice? Do you think you won't be successful in life? Have you tried living without listening to the voice in your head? You may not have experienced this for any extended period of time if you don't meditate. Meditation changes how you are in life, how you live your life, and what drives your actions. Meditation actually makes your life better and more successful in every way. The truth is that those who have difficulty functioning and doing what they need to do are those who are deeply identified with this voice, not those who are not identified with this voice. Those who are overly identified with this voice, who listen to it constantly, are paralyzed with fear or by depression, overwhelmed by negative feelings, or exhausted by stress and overdoing. Some even make themselves sick trying to live up to some imaginary, idealized version of themselves as a result of this voice. No, this voice doesn't help you in life. It only saps your energy and joy and keeps you from living in a more balanced and harmonious way, one in which you are in touch with your inner wisdom, love, peace, and guidance. Now take a moment and just notice any thoughts you may have about what I just said. Is the voice in your head arguing with this? Building a case for itself? Is it making you feel bad or ashamed for all the times you've listened to this voice? I would never judge or scold you for having the programming that you do, but the voice in your head would do this very thing. You see, the ego takes both sides. It drives you and it shames you no matter what you do. You can't win with it. It's like having a very bad parent that as a child you can never please. This bad parent causes you to feel bad about yourself when it's not your fault that you're a child who makes mistakes. It's not your fault that you have programming that runs you and causes you to be unhappy. I can't say this enough. It's not your fault. You didn't put that programming there, and that programming is difficult to overcome because it's programming. However, that isn't a reason to not try to overcome it. You can overcome it, and that's what the spiritual path is all about, overcoming the programming that causes you to suffer. This programming makes you feel limited, small, afraid, and therefore mean and unkind toward others. This is a sorry state, except that it doesn't have to continue to be the state you live in. What else is here? How fortunate that there's something else here, another way to be and live, another experience of life than the experience created by listening to the voice in your head. What else is there to listen to? There is actually something else to listen to, but it doesn't speak to you in words. In fact, it doesn't speak to you because this voice isn't outside yourself as the voice in your head is, but inside yourself. It is your own voice, so it doesn't have to speak to you. It's just known. You just know what's right and true for you. No one, the voice in your head or anyone else's voice, needs to tell you what is true for you. This knowing is what's true for you in the moment. You just know what's true in the moment for the moment. The truth is felt within your being in a certain way. Let's take a moment and see if you can feel this now. What is the truth about love, for instance? Do you know love to be true? How does that knowing feel subtly in your body? That is how the truth feels. It's subtle. It's indescribable. It's simple, a yes or a no. Everything you need and everything you want is in this quiet place within you. It's difficult to describe this any other way. There really aren't words to describe the subtle world of the heart, where you receive guidance in each moment for how to live your life. Can you experience that you are that which is whole and complete within itself, which does not include the voice outside itself that speaks to it? Take a moment to experience this. You are much simpler, less complicated than the you described by the voice in your head. The real you is just this simple experience of just being and resting in a state of simple contentment and peace. This peace is who you are. Rest another moment in this peace. Thank you for attending to these words. I am with you always.